Hi guys, so today we're going to look at the VLOOKUP function, which is available on Google Sheets and Excel. This example we're going to do in Google Sheets. So what you can see here is a vertical lookup, which is what the V stands for. Searches down the first column of a range for a key and returns a value of a specified cell in the row bound. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's go and take a look at some data. So here we've got the World Cup final, winners, losers, and the host nation. So here we've got the first column, which is the year, second is the winner, third loser. And what we want to do is be able to put in a year, so let's say 1930, we've got Uruguay there, or let's pick another 1954, we get West Germany, which corresponds to this. So let's see what's going on then with this. So the first parameter we've got is the search key, which is this. So in this case, we've put down E3, which is this cell. So this is a cell that I'm changing to control what output we get here. Okay, the next parameter then is going to be the range. So you can see that there. So what have we put down? We've put A2 to D22, which is all of this basically, which is what we want. And then for us, we're just going to consider the last one. We're going to ignore this for today. It's a bit confusing. So the next one is going to be the index. So the column index of the value to be returned, where the first column in range is numbered 1. So here what we got, we're searching this column, don't forget, that's the way it works. And then we're going to put in the column we want the answer for, which at the moment is going to be the second one, or 2. So we search this, and then we look across. So say we wanted the loser instead, what we can do is just change the 2 there to a 3. And then we get the loser for that year, 1978, which is the Netherlands. Alright, well, that's enough of Google. Let's get down into the nitty-gritty, and let's open the app scripts. If you don't know how to do that, just go here, and then we can pull it up. So how can we code this then? How can we create a function which basically does exactly the same as this? Slightly trivial, but still worthwhile knowing. So let's create some sort of function then. So we're going to call this myVlookUp. Okay. So we'll just use camel case because this is still JavaScript. Right, so the first one we were told is going to be the search key, yeah? Let's go back here and let's put in our parameters. Search key, the range, and then the column. Alright, we're going to be ignoring this. I really don't find it useful at all. It's sorted. And it can really lead you to some confusing results. So, yeah, for our example, it's just always going to be false by default, whereas it's true by default in the actual function. Right, so what we'll do is, so we can do some debugging with this. Let's put change that to key actually. Makes sense. Let's put in the value then. Key is equal to, say what, 1950 we'll use. Then the range, let's put in something for the range. We're going to stick with this notation, right? So we will use A2 to B22, and the column is going to be, let's stick with the winners, so we'll use 2. Alright, so that gives us something set up. I've not used const or here, or whatever you want to use, because these are already these are already essentially lets, they've already been declared. Let's move on then to the next phase. So what we want to do is want to get some data, right? So let's go and get the sheet. So we'll use the spreadsheet app, get active spreadsheet, and then get active sheet. Alright, so basically we're just getting this sheet. Right, and then we want to get our actual range. Let's call it the search range. Type that. Okay, so search range, we're going to go off the sheet, get range, which we've already got, right? We've already declared that down. And let's get the values. Okie doke. Right. Now let's just see where we're at with this. I want to try and show you in the debugger what's going on. So let's run that as the debug. So we can see all our variables here nicely declared. We've got the sheet and all the functionality that goes with that. And then we've got this search range. So here we've got this is what it actually looks like. We've got an array of arrays, which is basically the range. So this is the first row, second row, etc., etc. So that's the data we're going to be working with. And now what we want to do is we want to loop over this somehow, and we want to loop over this first one here, this first value, because we're checking this against a year, right? Which is basically what VLOOKUP does. So a great way to do this is, I mean, you could use a for loop here if you really wanted to, but a great way to do this in JavaScript is with this function, find. So the find method returns the first element in the provided array that satisfies the provided testing function. If no values satisfy the testing function, then it's undefined. Right. So this is how it's going to work. We've got a basic array here, find. We've got this callback, an element. So we're going to search for that and find something that's greater than 10. So that's the way it would work here. Now our situation is a little bit more complicated because we've got a array of arrays, right? So we're going to have to dig in to this value and then do a little check on it. So let's do that then. So we'll call this the result. So we're going to take our search range. We're going to find. I'm going to call this callback a row because we're basically looping over each row. We want to have a look at the first element in that array. So as we loop over each array, we're going to check this first element, which is 0. It's not 1, it's 0, because these arrays are 0 based, as you probably know. Right, so let's move on. So we want to check this, yeah, we want to check this year with this key that we're using here, and we've declared as 1950, yeah. So what we want to do is we want to see whether that equals our search key. So let's have a look at the debugger and see what happens. So here we go, we have got a result. So we check for 1950 and then we got this array returned, which was, yeah, just down here. This was in the 4th position in our list. So right, what do we want to do? We want to return the winner, right? This is what we've been doing here. We want to specify this value. Well, here actually it's the loser. So we'll go back to winner, 1978. So let's see how we can do this then. So we've got the call here that's being given, and then we've stated that it's going to be 2, yeah? So that's the winner. So let's pull that off. Right, so we can't, let's just run this, see what happens. So yeah, we've got Brazil here now for 1950. Right, so if you've noticed, we've got Brazil, we've got the loser, even though we put 2 in. Again, this is due to the zero basing of these arrays in JavaScript. So what we want to do is just knock a 1 off here, save that, and then if you put in 2 for the second column, see what we get? We get Uruguay, which was the 1950 winner. Okay, so let's test this out. So we'll just remove our fixed data here, we don't want that. We're not debugging anymore, so let's get rid of that. Let's return the result. Oops. Spelling's a bit off today. So let's return the result there, which is just this variable here. And let's see what happens. So we're gonna call it this, right? It's myVlookUp. So let's bang it in. myVlookUp. Let's put in the key. So it's gonna be that. Let's give it a range, which is all of this. And let's say we want the winner, yeah? Let's see what happens. Error. Oh no. Range not found. Right. So let's go back there and take a look. So what we've got here is a situation where, if you remember before, just go back and have a look at that. We were passing the range in here as a string. When what we want is the array of arrays. So what we'll do is get rid of this again. Let's go back here, return results, just get back to where we were. And then we are going to get rid of this basically. We don't need that. And instead, we're gonna get it from this. Let's see what happens. And there you go, presto, it's worked. So we've got the same result. Let me play around with this now. So if we want to get the loser, which was 1978, the loser should be the Netherlands, and it is. And it's the same with this as well. I don't know if you've noticed the speed difference there. This one's basically instant, this building function. Whereas if I do it with mine, just check that back, there's this loading period. So yeah, this is not like the best practice. You should always go for this. This is just for yeah, just playing around really. Just an example of what can be done. But also this is a bit messy now. I don't know if you've noticed, we don't need this anymore. That was just for the range. And we don't even need that. We'll just return it there. And let's see if it works. Yep, it's still working fine. Yep, so there you go. Just one line of code, and we've got our own myVLOOKUP function. So yeah, if you've got any questions, let me know, put them in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer back, get back to you on them. If you've got any suggestions for anything else you'd like to know, let me know and we can see what we can do. So take it easy until the next one. Bye bye.